Dallas might be moving Jason Robertson, and it's an interesting take, and because I saw one thing, so they're looking to make room to re-sign Granlund, and I'm like that's kind of a weird trade-off.
Maybe because they like the way that Granlund played with Rantanen.
Maybe, yeah,
And
I don't know.
because like they had that whole finish line that they were using with Hintz and Granlund and Rantanen. But is it I don't know. That's kind of crazy though, because like I feel like Robertson's on a pretty solid deal, and he basically changed his game for them because he was like over 100-point player, and then they asked him to be more of a two-way guy, and then he's like, okay, and just fucking.
Yeah, he currently has. Well, he's got one more year, and then he's an RFA, and he's at 7,750,000.
Yeah, and then I wonder if it's just them thinking like, get something good for him now before they come into like really deep shit with cap trouble.
I guess it doesn't look. I guess now looking at that, for some reason, I thought he was signed a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he was someone that held out a little bit, right? Because they couldn't get a deal.
I don't
Or,
think
or
so. What does it say like when the contract was signed? What year?
2022
22.
for four. So it was a 4-year deal,
And
775.
he had 109 points that season. He just had 79, and then he had 109, and then the last 2 seasons he's had 80.
So I guess
Jesus.
the next thing to ask is to make it about the Blackhawks. For the right deal, do you make that trade?
See, here's the thing again. When it comes to the Hawks' future, like I think that you would have to move on early from a big piece, which would be like Oliver Moore or somebody, because once this contract is up, this current one, like Jason Robertson's getting like 12 plus million guaranteed.
Yeah.
Because he's that good. Yeah, you would. It's just tough to like immediately go into that. Like we know that Bedard's going to get paid. We know when Nazar is going to get paid, and like those are fine because that's internal. And I just feel like it's a little too soon to go that much in on that type of player.
But if you could get a Jason Robertson,
Like,
and right, but it's like, what do we? But then it's like you don't have to really go and overpay or make a signing for a vet winger. Like you can almost negotiate this and work it around a little bit better, because I think it's a little bit easier, I think, to re-sign him and make it work considering he's an RFA.
Dude, honestly, now that I'm looking at it too, you could just make that. You could let that rip. Just he could fucking get 12, like easy. Why not? Because you get him. Because that's what we were saying about Marner. I was like, if it's under 13, then it's like okay, whatever, deal with it. But like with Jason Robertson, I would be completely fine now that I'm thinking about it. Like, yeah, like you're gonna have after this upcoming season, Foligno, Dickinson, Mikheyev, Joe Veleno, like Lucas Reichel. Those are the forwards that are coming that literally are going to be off of their deals.
At least 2 of those are for sure probably not coming back unless they're taking major.
Yes.
Well, one would have to take a major. Dickinson would have to take a major.
Because those were also like overpays to keep to
no,
show
exactly.
appreciation
Yeah,
for sticking
exactly.
with us too.
But they're not gonna be getting that.
Plus there's the Shea Weber contract that comes off. Connor Murphy's probably out of here. TJ Brody's done. They're gonna have stupid money to fuck with next year.
But you also got to re-sign Bedard, Nazar, Knight.
Easy. You have close to like 60 million. Here, wait. You have. Is this Wait, is that right? 82 million next season? Not this upcoming season, but the year after. So they have 29 million right now this offseason with no extensions on obviously in place currently or anything. They have 82 million in cap space available for
No, I
26,
believe it. Yeah,
27.
because
So
most of the roster is going to be guys like on
on ELCs,
ELCs,
yep.
and those are the ones that are coming up.
Or those cheap like contracts after the ELCs that some of these got, like Kaiser will be on, and like Louis Crevier will be on that. Lucas Reichel's going to probably be on a cheap deal unless he gets moved. Because like if honestly you're making a move for Jason Robertson, a lot of people are throwing like Lucas Reichel in there for a lot because it just feels like a change of scenery for a guy that can probably play pretty well. I'd still like to see what he does with Blashill, but I mean, if you're going to get fucking Jason Robertson, let it rip.
Oh yeah, dude. Look at that. I mean, all we have under contract for next season, the following season, 26, 27. Forward is Bertuzzi, Teravainen,
Mm-hmm.
Oliver Moore, and Slaggert.
And
And
it's gonna be Bedsy and Nazer. Like,
right, but I'm just saying, like, as of this moment right now.
yeah.
And then the defense is Vlasic, Levshunov, Renzel. And then
Yep.
no goalie signed.
Yep.
So yeah.
It's almost like a clean slate.
Yeah, I know I'm so anti Mitch Marner coming to Chicago and all that kind of stuff. And I always say, like, it's not the right year. I think it's a different situation because Robertson's
3 years younger, 4 years
young.
younger.
He's younger, and he's the type of player that I think would be more. He's shown to be a team player, like you talked about. He has adjusted his game to what the team needs, and
He's also 6'3". I didn't even realize that. I've always felt like he's smaller, but I think that's Nick Robertson that's a little bit smaller. But yeah, he's 6'3". He's a fucking beast, dude.
And I don't know.
Him on the left side with Bedsy, fuck.
He could play right wing too, so you could put him with Misa and Bedsy.
Yeah. I like where your head's at. Or what if it's Bedsy with Jason Robertson and Porter Martone? Just Bedsy down the middle with 2 6'3" guys on the fucking left and right.
Bedsy, Martone, and then Robertson, and then Nazar, Teravainen, and we still somehow get Misa, and he's still there too.
He just refuses to sign wherever he's at. It's like, all right, take me to Chicago.
But yeah, I mean, it's like if you're looking to, I know it sounds like very like hypocritical to say like, oh, go spend the money on a Robertson. I think it's a very valid different point than going for a Marner. And Marner might be a great guy and all that kind of stuff, but it's just from the outside looking in, just seeing the the whole how the drama is with the Maple Leafs and stuff like that. I don't get that from Jason Robertson, and I feel like that would be a much better fit for this team. And it's like he comes in, there's no ego with him, which would be a huge thing, which is what some of the issues is with Seth Jones and other guys coming in here thinking that they deserve a whole lot more.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy looking at this because like I said, when they asked him to focus more on defense, this is where it makes sense. That 1 year where he had 109 points, he took 313 shots, and then the next season he almost had 50 goals. By the way, he had 46 goals that season, and then the next season when he only had 29, he took 231 shots, so almost like 80 shots less. And then this past season he took 211. So he was more of like deferring and passing the puck, and then I'm sure playing just better defense.